I don't think that people wake up one day and decide to live a life that they do not want. I think that it happens much more slowly, slow grind over time, micro decisions where you either take on more responsibility or you make a decision based off of somebody else's preferences or you shrink yourself down to accommodate the space and give that space to other folks. You decide what is safe, what's reasonable, what are folks my age doing, what is acceptable in society. And in all of that, we forget to ask ourselves an important question, which is what is it that I actually want? Not what's impressive, not what other people want, not what makes you or others feel more comfortable, but like what truly makes you feel alive? What energizes you? And what do you want your life to look like? Hi, everybody. My name is Jessie. I am completely redesigning my life. Um, in about 7 months, I'm leaving my home and moving to a completely different country. I'm closing my farm business and I'm leaving my W 2 salaried job here in the States. And I am terrified. I am terrified. I'm so excited at the same time, I'm moving to really put my time and energy towards a project that has been on my mind. Imagine this for 12 years. And I have not bet on myself that I can do it because it's really out of my sort of like arena that I've built myself, which is like ecology, conservation, and agriculture, sort of like the intersection of all of those three. It's outside of that. So I would be a beginner. And as a perfectionist, that doesn't excite me. Okay. Doesn't excite me. Um, or it excites me to the point of paralysis, maybe I should say. And so this channel really is going to be about like demonstrating to myself and to others, what does taking agency over one's life really look like? What does it feel like? What do you go through? What's hard? What's exciting? Like all the challenges and the grief therein, like I am finally here for it and I'm willing to bet on myself. It's so scary. Like my wake up call was that I um am just so burnt out. I have normalized burnout. And what that's done is make me unable to think my own thoughts. I am always thinking about, what does my business need? What does this organization that I work for need? What do my cats need? What does my mom need? What do my brothers need? What do these chickens? I have chickens and ducks. What do chickens and ducks need? My farm crew, like what do they need? And I'm steeped in like materials and spreadsheets and project development and delegation and being delegated to, and just what consumes my mind when I wake up and when I go to sleep is my laundry list of responsibilities. And the story that I've told myself for such a long time is that, like, yep, this is what hard work looks like. This is what hard work feels like, really, really delaying by decades the payoff of all of this, right? And I'm just so exhausted. I'm so tired. And I've never, like, I don't know if it's loved myself or like cared about myself enough to give myself space to rest, you know? And so, what I've been doing over the past 6 months or so is waking up early in the morning. The world is quiet. Work hasn't started yet. You know, my farm crew hasn't started yet. Um, the chickens haven't woken up yet. And I'm able to sit out here and journal and really respect myself enough to give myself the space to think other thoughts with more intention than just the pain, the mental pain and the physical pain that comes with them. And really think things through. And like, sort of what I've uncovered is there's all of these invisible pressures that are placed on us that determine the outcomes of our lives. For me, one of those pressures is perfectionism. Y'all, I won't even think about starting a project if I do not have a complete list of possible outcomes, all the materials that I need to start something, the perfect weather, the perfect circumstance, and the perfect amount of confidence that it takes for me to launch anything. It could be something super small, you know? I like perfectionism is a prison. It's a prison, and I'm so tired of falling victim to wanting to appear like, "Yep, I have it all together. Yep, I'm so ambitious. Yep, I'm so hardworking, high achieving, like all this, all that." Like, who am I doing that for? I can't even it's nobody even like online because I'm too afraid to post a picture of my chickens, for example. I remember that I posted a picture of my chickens like in the woods, um, and the mental gymnastics that I went through to post that was insane. And the first comment that I got was this person talking about how chickens in silvopasture are like not a thing. You know, they just ripped it to shreds. I was like, oh my God. I just felt, I don't know, it just made me feel so bad and be like, yeah, I don't want to put myself out there. Like, it wasn't even of me, it was of my chickens. That's insane. Anyway, perfectionism is something that I am in the process of breaking out of and recognizing all of the awful patterns that it produces, because what it does is also choke out any space for mystery in my life. You know? It's like if I have an idea, I go through this entire process where I think through everything and just beat the richness out of it. It's like, let it breathe, let it come to fruition, let it blossom. You know, like let the mysterious parts be mysteries and meet them whenever you get to meeting them, you know? Anyway, the second invisible force is the avoidance of poverty. Like I come from a neighborhood in Philly that was not the most impoverished. It was not the most, it was not affluent at all. There were, you know, drug dealers, drug users, prostitution, murder, break-ins, mass shootings, you know, all of that. And so I remember telling myself that I'm going to work so hard to not live in this environment. You know, like my mom saw the pressures that were around and the effect that it was having on all of us. And in our teenage years, moved us out of the neighborhood, you know, like those critical times. And so a lot of it has been, you know, a segue into the invisible pressure of like families and like me demonstrating that, like, yo, getting out of the hood is possible, um but just overperforming to the point where I'm exhausted and trying to keep myself out of the hood. So really the invisible force of fear in having my life be crafted in a certain way, right? And yeah, and so then I started realizing like agency does not have to be this grand sweeping event that happens in our lives. It could just be like, you know, this food that makes me feel icky when I eat it, but it's so good, maybe I just eat it like one less time. Maybe to give myself more time in the evenings or in the mornings, I wake up or I go to bed like 15 or 20 minutes later and elongate that. However, you know, it could be like giving yourself the space and the time to explore a skill and build a skill that you've always wanted to build for recreational reasons, or if you wanted to develop a side hustle, you know, something that would take you closer to your actual goals, because time is ticking. Do you understand? I love those videos from like lessons from 90-year-olds that say like, they'd be like, if there's anything that you want to do it. They would be like, I was just 70 years old yesterday. And that's how I feel. I feel like I was just 20 years old. I feel like I was just 20 years old. And it's insane to me to believe that, that was 12 years ago. When I'm 50, I'm going to be like, yo, I was just 32. Where does the time go? When adults used to be saying that when I was a kiddo, I would be like, whatever. Like a day is a long, like these days are long, but these days slip by. We are in July. Do you understand? It's almost next year. Um, all that to say that like I am so tired of waiting for the perfect scenario, for the perfect level of clarity, for the perfect materials, for the perfect level of confidence, for the perfect partnership, for the perfect. It's just like, yo, just do what you're trying to do. You're gonna perfect your way to 80 years old and being like, oh, I shoulda, coulda, woulda. Niz. We're not doing that. And so yeah, so this channel is going to be a lot about, like closing chapters with intention and with care, and not the opposite, right? Opening new chapters with the same, and documenting the messy middle, because there's going to be a lot of grief, and just like closing all of these chapters that I grinded to build, right? There's going to be excitement there. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be sorrow and anger and surprises and all of that I withheld myself from experiencing because I'm trying to avoid pain. And that's not a reason to be paralyzed. So I'm so excited for y'all to follow along with this journey. Like moving abroad is going to be a really big deal and really scary, but I'm very excited that I'm finally having the audacity to bet on myself. And hopefully, all of these upcoming videos give you the confidence to bet on yourself too, because time's short and you can do it. Love you. See y'all in the next one.